The sun hangs low in the sky, casting a golden glow over the quiet suburban street. A picture-perfect neighborhood, at least on the surface. Neatly trimmed lawns, driveways lined with SUVs and sedans, houses painted in soft, neutral colors, none too flashy, none too run-down. The kind of place where people smile at each other, but lock their doors a little tighter at night. When someone like me moves in, I stretch, stepping out onto my porch with a steaming mug of coffee in hand. The air is crisp, and the scent of freshly cut grass lingers. It's peaceful. My house. My sanctuary. After years of grinding at work, I finally own my own place, complete with a backyard, a garage, and, most importantly, my own damn space. Or so I thought. A flash of movement catches my eye. Across the street, a figure stands at the edge of her driveway, watching. Karen. That's not her real name, but it fits. Blonde bob, oversized sunglasses, HOA clipboard permanently glued to her hand. She's been here longer than anyone, and she makes sure people know it. The integrity of the community, she always says. Property values, she warns, as if my very presence threatens both. I take a slow sip of coffee, ignoring her. I'm used to the looks, the fake smiles, the casual microaggressions disguised as concern. It's been like this since I moved in. First, the passive-aggressive comments about my lawn. Too long, too short, too something. Then the random visits from the HOA warning me about invisible violations. And now my garage door is open. I frown. I didn't leave it open. Setting my mug down, I walk toward it. My gut tightens. Something feels off. As I reach the threshold, my stomach drops. A car is parked inside. Not my car. A white Lexus SUV parked neatly, as if it belongs there. I take a step back, scanning the street. Nobody else is outside now, except Karen. And she's smirking. A slow burn creeps up my spine. I don't need to ask whose car it is. I already know. I turn back to the garage, jaw tightening. This is an accident. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is a message, and I'm about to send one back. I stand there, staring at the white Lexus sitting comfortably in my garage, like it owns the place. My fingers curl into fists. This can't be real. I take a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe someone left their car here by accident. But the moment I turn back toward the street, that illusion shatters. Karen is still standing there, arms folded across her chest, the ghost of a smirk playing on her lips. I step out of the garage and head toward her, my voice measured. Hey, do you know whose car that is? She doesn't answer right away. Instead, she adjusts her sunglasses, eyes scanning me like I'm the one trespassing. Finally, she sighs, waving a manicured hand. Oh, that's mine. I needed a little extra parking space, and your driveway was full. You weren't using the garage anyway. My teeth clench. She says it so casually, like I'm the one being unreasonable. I glance at my driveway, where my truck is parked exactly where it's supposed to be. I wasn't blocking anything. She just decided she could take my space. That's not how this works. I say, keeping my voice even. You don't just park in someone else's garage. Karen lets out a breathy chuckle, shaking her head. Oh, relax. It's just for a little while. The HOA allows temporary accommodations when necessary. I raise an eyebrow. Temporary accommodations? Where's that in the rules? She shrugs. Oh, I don't expect you to know all the guidelines. They're a little complicated for some people. There it is. That tone, the one dripping with condescension. The unspoken message behind her words. She's not just talking about the rules. She's talking about me. I inhale sharply, willing myself to stay calm. Not here, not in front of her. That's what she wants. For me to snap, to give her an excuse to play the victim. Instead, I smile. Well, I'd love to see where it says you can park in someone else's private property without permission. Maybe you could email that to me? Karen's lips pressed together in a thin line. She was expecting that. Look, there's no need to get hostile, she says, her voice saccharine sweet. We're a community. We help each other. Funny, I don't remember her being so helpful when she was reporting me for having my trash bins out an hour too long. I'll move it soon, she adds, flipping her hair. But I'm in the middle of something right now, so... No, I cut in. My patience is gone. You're moving it now. Karen scoffs, rolling her eyes. Ugh, fine. No need to be dramatic. She brushes past me, heading toward my garage like she owns it. And that's when it hits me. This isn't just about parking. It's about power, control, and Karen thinks she has it, but she's about to learn otherwise. Karen doesn't move her car. Hours pass. The sun dips low in the sky, and my garage is still occupied. I stand by my front window, arms crossed, watching, waiting, giving her a chance to do the right thing. But deep down, I already know Karen isn't the type. I step outside, my patience hanging by a thread. She's still on her porch, sipping what I assume is some overpriced white wine, phone in hand. I keep my tone calm. Karen, your car is still in my garage. She barely glances up. Oh, right. I got busy. Busy. Drinking wine. I need you to move it. Karen exhales dramatically, like I'm inconveniencing her. I'll get to it. I don't move. Neither does she. The tension thickens. Then she adds, It's just a car. What's the big deal? There is again that entitlement. I tilt my head. If it's just a car, why not park in your own driveway? Her expression shifts, a flicker of something dangerous in her eyes. My son is home from college. He took my spot. I shake my head, my patience gone, then park on the street, like everyone else. Karen sets her wine glass down and rises to her feet. Look, I don't see why you're making such a fuss. I've lived in this neighborhood a long time. The HOA trusts me to make reasonable accommodations for residents. I laugh, a short, humorless sound. You mean like when you called the HOA on me for painting my door black? Said it didn't match the community aesthetic? Karen waves a dismissive hand. That was a different situation. Was it? I challenge. Because it feels like the same thing. You making rules that only apply to people like me. Her lips thin. Don't pull the race card. There it is. The go-to defense when people like her get called out, like the problem isn't her entitlement. It's me refusing to accept it. I step forward. Move your car, Karen. Last warning. She smirks. That smirk. Like she's already won. What are you going to do? Call the police? I'd love to see how that plays out. Her meaning is clear. She's banking on the system to protect her, but she doesn't know me. I pull out my phone. Nah, I've got a better idea. I walk away, leaving her standing there, because she thinks she has all the power. But she just made a mistake. Gathering allies. I knock on Mike's door first. Mike's an ex-cop, retired but still sharp. More importantly, he's seen Karen's antics before. He opens the door, his eyes narrowing. Let me guess. Karen? She parked in my garage. Mike whistles low. That woman's got no boundaries. I need proof, I say. You've got cameras, right? Mike nods. I can pull the footage. She walked right into your garage like she owned it, like it was her God-given right. Mike grimaces. Yeah, I'll send you what I got. Next, I call Tasha, head of the local community Facebook group. Her reaction is instant. Karen did what? I explain everything. She keeps using HOA rules as her shield. Thinks she can get away with it. Tasha laughs. Oh, she loves her little HOA power trips. But guess what? The HOA president? That's me now. My eyebrows lift. I hadn't heard that. Tasha's voice sharpens. Send me the footage when you get it. I'll handle the rest. I hang up, a slow smile forming. Karen thinks she runs this neighborhood. She's about to learn otherwise. The next morning, Karen's car is still in my garage. I'm done playing nice. I step outside just as Karen emerges from her house, robe tied loosely around her waist, her ever-present coffee cup in hand. She sees me and smirks. That smirk, the same one from yesterday. The one that says, "What are you going to do about it?" I take a deep breath. "Karen, last chance. Move your car." She sips her coffee, unbothered. "Relax, I'll get to it. You're making a scene." I chuckle. "Not yet, but I will." Her smirk falters for a second before she regains her composure. What's that supposed to mean? I take out my phone. Oh, just that I spoke with Tasha. You know, the new HOA president. Karen stiffens. There it is. The first crack. I keep going. And I got footage from Mike's security cameras. Want to take a guess what they show? Her jaw tightens. "Let me help you." I continue. "They show you trespassing on my property, walking into my garage, and parking your car like you own the place. That's what do they call it? Criminal trespassing." Karen's face flushes. "You're being ridiculous." "No," I correct. "I'm being smart." I pull up my phone and press play. The footage is crisp, high definition. Karen, in broad daylight, walking into my garage without permission and parking her car. She knows she's screwed. I see it in the way her fingers tighten around her coffee cup. But she's not done fighting. "You seriously recorded me?" she snaps. Mike did. Neighborhood safety and all. I shrug. Guess it came in handy. She squares her shoulders. "So what? The HOA won't do anything. They love me." I tilt my head. Funny thing about that, Tasha already sent the footage to the board. They're meeting today. Karen's mouth opens, then closes. She wasn't expecting that. And I add, enjoying the way her confidence is crumbling. Since this is criminal trespassing, I went ahead and filed a police report. Karen loses it. "You what? You're seriously calling the police over this? Over a damn parking spot?" "No," I say calmly. "I'm calling the police over you breaking the law." She laughs, loud and forced. "Oh, this is rich. What do you think is going to happen? You think you're going to show up and arrest me?" I don't answer, because I don't have to. At that moment, a police cruiser turns a corner and rolls to a stop in front of my house. Karen's face drains of color. One officer steps out. He's professional, polite, but all business. "Are you Karen Thompson?" She swallows hard. "Yes, but this is just a misunderstanding. We receive a report about trespassing and unauthorized use of private property. The officer says, 'Would you mind stepping over here to answer a few questions?' I fold my arms and watch. Karen thought she owned this neighborhood. She just got evicted from her own fantasy. Karen isn't going down without a fight. The officer barely finishes a sentence before she's already in full damage control mode. "This is insane," she huffs, crossing her arms like a petulant child. "I have lived in this neighborhood for 20 years. I know the HOA rules. I know my rights." I scoff. "Yeah, pretty sure one of those rules is don't break into your neighbor's garage." Karen ignores me. She turns to the officer, her voice shifting into that sweet, fake innocence. "Listen, officer, this man is just trying to make trouble. I parked in his garage by accident. That's all." The officer tilts his head. "By accident?" "Yes," she insists. "It was late, and I was in a hurry. I thought I was pulling into my own driveway." I laugh out loud. She glares at me. "Something funny?" "Yeah," I say, shaking my head. "Your house is 3 doors down. How do you accidentally park in someone else's garage, walk inside their home, and close the door behind you?" The officer's expression hardens. Karen senses she's losing ground. "Okay, fine." She throws her hands up. "Maybe I parked there on purpose. But it's not that big of a deal. He wasn't even using it." I raise an eyebrow. "Oh, so I can just walk into your house and crash on your couch since you're not using it. Her lips press into a thin line. The officer clears his throat. Ma'am, do you have permission to park on his property? Karen pauses. The gears in her mind are turning, but there's no way out. Well, she stammers, I mean, he never said I couldn't. The officer sighs. That's not how trespassing works. Now Karen's desperate. She points at me. This is a setup. He's been harassing me for months. Always trying to make me look bad in front of the HOA. Always. I cut her off. Yeah? Funny. I pull up my phone and tap the screen, because my security camera says otherwise. I hit play. Karen's face drops. On screen, she's seen marching into my garage with confidence, locking her car, and walking away like she owns the place. No hesitation. No confusion. No accident. She knows she's done for, but she won't admit it. You edited that, she snaps. The officer shakes his head. Actually, we've already reviewed security footage from multiple neighbors. He gestures down the street, and several of them are willing to testify that they saw you enter the garage on purpose. Karen turns slowly. For the first time, she realizes the entire neighborhood is watching. People are standing on their lawns, peeking through windows. Whispers spread like wildfire. Karen, the HOA queen, caught red-handed. And everyone knows it. Her breathing picks up. She looks around like a trapped animal, searching for a way out. Then her eyes land on me, and she snaps. This is a witch hunt, she screams. You're all trying to ruin me. This is because I try to keep this neighborhood from turning into... She stops herself. Too late. The words hang in the air. The officer's eyes narrow. The neighbors exchange looks. I step forward, lowering my voice. Go ahead, Karen. Say it. She clams her mouth shut, but the damage is done. The officer sighs. Ma'am, I'm placing you under arrest for trespassing and unlawful use of private property. Karen gasps. You can't be serious. He takes out his cuffs. You have the right to remain silent. No. Karen shrieks. She jerks away, flailing wildly. I am not going to jail. Do you know who I am? I built this neighborhood. I am the HOA. The officer doesn't care. He catches her wrist, securing the cuffs. Karen loses it, screaming, kicking, begging. Please, I can fix this. Don't do this. I didn't mean to. Click. The cuffs lock. Karen's world shatters. She looks around one last time, desperately searching for anyone, to defend her. No one does. The neighbors, the same one she controlled, intimidated, and manipulated for years, stand in silence, watching, unmoved. The officer leads her to the cruiser. She stumbles once, and for the first time, she doesn't look like HOA royalty. She looks small. As the car door slams shut, I turn to the neighbors. A beat of silence. Then, applause. Someone claps. Then another. Soon, the whole block is cheering. And Karen? Karen is gone. And I smile, because for the first time in years, this neighborhood belongs to the people. Not her. The neighborhood is buzzing. The moment Karen is shoved into the squad car, people start talking. Whispers ripple through the block, a mixture of shock, vindication, and for some, guilt. Can you believe it? Someone mutters. She really thought she could get away with it. Honestly, I used to think she had our best interests at heart. Nah, man. She was just a bully with a clipboard. I stand near my driveway, watching the cruiser pull away. For years, Karen ruled this neighborhood like a dictator. She decided who belonged and who didn't. She used HOA rules like weapons and hid behind authority to justify her entitlement. But today she lost. And everyone saw it. By the next morning, the entire HOA board is in shambles. With Karen gone, her loyalists start scrambling, trying to distance themselves from her. I had no idea she was doing that. One of them says, she acted alone. Another insists, we were just following the rules. Yeah, right. But the damage is done. Neighbors are furious. People dig up old fines, unfair violations, and receipts of Karen's abuse. Stories flood the community Facebook page. People she harassed, families she tried to push out, rules she bent to suit herself. The HOA board calls an emergency meeting. By the end of the night, every last one of them has either resigned or been voted out. Karen's kingdom? Gone. Her fall from grace doesn't stop there. As it turns out, Karen has a history. Local reporters catch wind of her arrest. Soon, people start digging into her past HOA positions in other neighborhoods. Turns out, I'm not the first person she's tried to bully out of their own home. More accusations come out. More victims speak up. And when the security footage of her trespassing goes viral, game over. Karen becomes the face of HOA abuse. Memes, videos, news stories. Her name is everywhere. Even the city council takes notice. Officials begin reevaluating HOA policies, cracking down on abuses of power, all because Karen thought she was untouchable. Now, she's a joke, a cautionary tale, and most satisfying of all, she's broke. The fines from her charges, the lawsuits piling up the legal fees, they destroy her. She's forced to sell her house, the house she lorded over everyone else, the house that was her status, her power, her identity, gone. The morning after she moves out, I stand on my front porch, sipping coffee. For the first time in a long time, the neighborhood feels light. No more Karen watching from her window, waiting to pounce on the smallest infraction. No more petty fines, no more threats, no more fear. Just peace. I take a deep breath, feeling the tension finally release. Then I hear a voice. Hey! I turn. It's Mr. Thompson, my neighbor, the one who always stayed quiet before. He rubs the back of his neck. Listen, I just want to say I was wrong. I raise an eyebrow. About what? He sighs. About her. About everything. I saw what she was doing, but I never spoke up. Figured it wasn't my problem. He shakes his head. But it was. We all let her get away with too much for too long. I let his words hang in the air for a moment. Then I nod. It's not too late to do better, I say. He gives me a small smile. Yeah, you're right. That night, the neighborhood celebrates. Someone throws a block party. People bring food, music plays, kids run to the street. It's the first time we've ever come together like this. Karen spent years trying to divide us, but now she's gone, and we're stronger than ever. I lean back in my chair, watching my dogs play in the yard. For the first time in a long time, this place feels like home again, and it always will, because we made sure of it. The end.